stand up? Be recognized. I'd also like to note that 3 of our athletes this year were awarded first team All-Interact honors. That's Jake Cravata, LJ Barlow, and Chauncey Simmons. Having just wrapped up the season on Saturday at the National Prep School Tournament at Lehigh, I'm still not sure what I think about our successes and failures of this year. There were certainly a lot of high points, both individually and collectively. There were also some low points, again, both individually and as a team. What I am sure of is that I'm extremely thankful that 22 members of our community decided it was worth their considerable time and effort to become a part of the long-standing tradition that is the Haverford School Wrestling program. While it's certainly not the easiest way to earn a sports credit, these 22 young men gave up nearly every weekend from December through this past weekend, and Thanksgiving and Christmas breaks, as well as the President's weekend, to carry our banner from Newark, New Jersey to Winchester, Virginia. They competed with pride, intensity, and emotion, and discovered more about themselves than they knew even existed. Whether it was Chauncey Simmons going toe-to-toe with the fearsome Victor Pichenko, or LJ Barlow taking on all comers and putting himself in the company of some of the best wrestlers in the United States, all these guys chose to put themselves in the arena, their faces marred by sweat and blood, and thus will never find themselves among the cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Saturday night, I got to witness our Hall of Fame induction ceremony, where arguably the best wrestler in school history and a former assistant coach of mine attempted to put into words what wrestling has meant to him. In a very short period of time, this young man suffered the sudden death of his father, a paralyzing stroke to his sister, who 5 days earlier had given birth to her first child, and a divorce from a girl he thought he would spend the rest of his lifetime with. Any one of these events, under the best of circumstances, could take years to overcome. This young man summoned the courage and strength to somehow keep moving forward, facing each tragedy head-on, and never giving in to the path of least resistance. He says he was able to do this partly because his former Iowa head coach Dan Gable has said, oftentimes, once you have wrestled, everything else is easy. It is this revelation of character that I got to witness many times this season, and that I will recall most often when asked how the season went. From the talented performances of freshman sensation Freddie Corradetti, to the improvement shown by sophomore Jake Cravata, to the steady progress shown by junior captain Nick Gallo, these athletes gave the fans plenty to cheer about. Equally important were the efforts of Sam Turner, who gave us and his teammates every effort he could, and will be remembered by me as one of the best teammates a guy could have. All these boys will be able to look back on this collective experience through their own lens and remember the good wins and agonize over the tough losses. It's why they choose to compete. So although our record stands at a somewhat unremarkable 13-10 overall and 3-2 in the league, good enough for third place, I have no doubt that 15 years from now, as I am waiting for some shark to take my bait while fishing off Hilton Head Island, and I reflect on the 2012-2013 season, a smile will come to my face and I will fully understand that it was in fact a very good year. As always, I have a group of assistant coaches who deserve way more accolades than they receive. They're as fine a group of young men as you could hope to find. Captain James Griffin, Larry Barlow, Yanni Dimitrov, and Justin Wheeler have left their mark on this year's group and will probably be remembered in several of these guys' Hall of Fame inductions years from now as a man who made a difference. There is no greater praise. I now have the pleasure of awarding 4 special awards that carry the names of former athletes recognized for outstanding achievement in years gone by. The first award is one that's not really given, it's earned. It's the Haverford School Wrestling Trophy and Certificate. It's presented annually to that member of the wrestling squad who wins the highest number of points in regularly scheduled dual meets. Last year, this was won by LJ Barlow in a landslide. This year he had a lot of competition. I think he ended up 2 points ahead of the second place guy. This year that award again goes to L.J. Barlow. The next award is the Neil Buckley Wrestling Trophy. Presented annually to that member of the wrestling squad who has done the most through hard work and conscientious attitude to improve his wrestling. And I'm going to take a guess here, but I think his record last year was somewhere in the 15 and 19 range. This year I believe he's going to end up somewhere around 35 and 12, something like that. Huge amount of improvement from one year to the next. I'm real happy to give this award to Jake Rabata. Cliff W. Keevan Jr. Wrestling Plaque and Certificate is presented annually to a person for his outstanding contribution to the success of the Haverford School wrestling team. And again, this is going to a guy who kind of goes against the grain of you have to play a sport from the time you're 3 years old, until you're 25 to really be good at it. This is a guy who's somewhat a natural wrestler. When he came to school, he never wrestled a day in his life. Good upper body strength, good quickness, all the attributes you'd like to find in an athlete. Just through hard work and dedication, he's turned himself into a pretty doggone good wrestler. Again, his record's probably going to be somewhere in the 37 and 12 range again. That's Nick Gallo. And the last one is a historical award. I think I've been doing this at various schools for the last 18 or so. I don't ever remember in my history giving out an award to a non-starter, a guy who really, he isn't on the front lines of what we do on a day out, day in basis. We sit back and think about it, you wonder what are athletics really about? What kind of messages you're trying to send? This award, the Haverford School Wrestling Coaches Trophy, is awarded annually to a member of the wrestling team who has displayed an outstanding competitive spirit and true sportsmanship during the season. And it goes to a guy who just does everything right. Comes to every practice, never misses anything, works as hard as he can, does the off-season things, try to gain strength. He supports all our athletic programs. And I don't think I've ever been happier or more proud to give any one of these awards than I am right now as I announce Lee Dennis is this year. Now we're going to call Justin Goodrell. Thank you. Excuse me, we also have an award we're going to give Dr. Costa his years of support for the wrestling team and the Haverford School in general. Again, a framed picture. Well, I don't know what you're going to do these days. This is not a Frankfurt punch right here.
Good morning, everyone. I'm filling in for Coach Hansen, who is at home with his newly